Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Asa. If you're new here, welcome. My husband and I, there's husband, we have a design studio based here in Portland. But before we moved to Portland, we were food content creators in Colorado. So this video is about our experience living in Colorado as content creators, and then here in Portland, Oregon as content creators and business owners, because we registered our studio in 2021, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Just shortly after moving here.
So let's start off with the pros of each state or each city. By the way, this is interesting because we lived in Colorado for 4 years, and as of March, we have lived in Oregon for 4 years. So this is an even pros and cons video. Pros of Colorado, and I would just list them off. It's beautiful. It is. Colorado has beautiful mountains, stunning mountains, absolutely stunning. If you only look on the east. Sorry, no, if you only look on the west. If you look on the east, it's flat. So on the eastern side of the state, stunning mountains. On the western Did I mess it up again? Okay.
On the western side of the state has very pretty mountains.
Yes.
On the eastern side of the state is mainly plains.
Mainly plains.
So
very flat.
If you like hiking and dry weather, definitely your spiel.
The weather's dry, but that'll be in the cons later on. But yeah, the mountains are stunning in Colorado. And Colorado has beautiful, affordable homes. Affordable for what you get, for the space, for the quality, for the style, for all of that. Colorado has stunning, beautiful homes, especially, oh, that's so beautiful. I wish I was recording that right now. Oh, wait. See? Just a little peek of it. Even in Center City, it's very, I would say it's still affordable, at least more affordable than what you would get here in Portland, Oregon, in terms of housing. And very similar to that, Colorado has very good cost of living in general. Would you say so?
It's pretty decent for what you get.
Yeah.
But
we're on the pros of Colorado still, all right? He's never impressed.
You get what you get.
Oh my goodness. Colorado has a creative scene. I wouldn't say it's more creative than here in Oregon, especially here in Portland, but there is a very vibrant, creative, artistic community in Colorado, in most of the major cities there, especially in Denver. The art scene, the music scene, everything is in the city of Denver, which makes it the cultural hub of Colorado, as well as most cities and states in the Rockies. So Denver is the most populous city in that region. So in a way, when you live in Denver, you're sort of in the central hub of that region, which is a cool thing. Colorado has beautiful snow. Wouldn't you say so?
Definitely nicer than here, at least for personal experience.
It doesn't even snow here.
It does in the mountains. It's just we're at sea level and we're not, a mile in the air.
A mile high, yeah.
That makes more sense why we're not seeing as much snow given our elevation level. But the snow up on the mountain in Mount Hood and government camp area, the snow over there is nice, just not as comparable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, the snow in Colorado is stunning. Beautiful. It's here's the thing. The snow stays white in Colorado, which is, you don't really see that anywhere else. I'm just saying. The Rockies has beautiful, beautiful snow. So if that is your thing, if you like skiing and snow sports, perfect. Beautiful there. The people in Colorado are very friendly, just like here in Portland or here in Oregon. But I would say that the friendliness in Colorado is just I don't know, like how would you compare the friendliness in Oregon versus Colorado?
Colorado to me still had a bit of the, like, at least a feel of like Southern hospitality, where here is very much, to me, that fake West Coast, you know.
We're from the West Coast.
It's still fake. Where it's that very fake, how's it going, but I don't give a shit, where in Colorado, to me, it was easier to strike up a random conversation and people weren't as guarded, similar to how it was in the South, where here, if you're talking to somebody, they're still kind of like...
They're friendly, but
standoffish, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
I would agree.
I don't know what you're trying to do. You trying to run a fade? Like, what's going on? You know, versus like, I don't fucking care. I'll be your best friend for 5 minutes. You know, a little different.
Okay, so Denver and Portland are both friendly, but in different ways.
Correct.
Okay, another pro of Denver, Colorado is that it has a good mix of, how did I say it? Good mix of political, religious views, and lifestyle. That's what I wrote. That's what I put in my notes, and I would just leave it there. Would you agree, babe?
Yeah, it wasn't, you weren't seeing as much or hearing as much walking around like a lot of political discourse. Where here is it's teeming with it, no matter like who you really talk to, and after a while it's like, just shut up.
Another pro of Colorado is it has a better school and hospital system, or systems. That's just it. Another pro is Colorado has gorgeous mountain cities like Estes Park. Oh, I loved Estes Park. And Breckenridge, which had an amazing sandwich shop. All right, now on to the pros of Portland, Oregon. Again, remember, we have lived in each state and each city for 4 years each. So, yeah. The pros of Portland, Oregon are also a very beautiful nature scene here. So both states have incredible nature scene. I would say Colorado's nature scene is more niche because you get two things in Denver, Colorado. Beautiful air and beautiful mountains. In Oregon, you get a lot more in terms of your nature. You have your beaches, your dunes, your waterfalls, your lakes, all of the things, right? So in terms of natural variety, you'll get a lot more here in Portland, Oregon, than you would in Denver, Colorado. Portland, Oregon has great food. You hear me say that in nearly every video about Portland, Oregon. I don't need to say much. Portland has great food. Portland has a good mix of industries, okay? Tech, services, hospitality, plenty of that. Wood making is what I put, but what's like the industry called? Lumber, thank you. Creating content in Denver, Colorado versus creating content here in Portland, Oregon. I would say it's funny. There is more of a YouTube / content creator community in Denver, Colorado than there is here in Portland, Oregon. However, in general, there's a larger creative community here in Portland than there is in Denver, Colorado. I hope that makes sense. So if you are simply an artist, a musician, an indie filmmaker, or anyone in the creative space in general, there's more of that here in Portland. But in terms of content creators specifically, or YouTubers specifically, there's more of them in Denver, Colorado than here in Portland, Oregon. So in Denver, Colorado, living there as a content creator, I had a larger content creator community with actual planned events in Denver than here in Portland. It's really hard finding any YouTube event anywhere near Portland. The closest is actually in Seattle. So, and now on to the cons of each city and state. The job scene in Denver is healthier than here in Portland. I will say that. But the creative scene is more vibrant here in Portland. So, pros and cons of each. I don't know. You decide, okay? Another con for Portland, Oregon is not all of the time, but sometimes you do get that vibe that Portland is a bit of a like younger sibling city, because it can feel like it's living in the shadows of Seattle, Washington a little bit. Whereas in Denver, again, they are the like central hub in that region, so they're not living in the shadows of another city in a way. So while living in Colorado, and this had never happened in my life until I moved there, I got a lot of nosebleeds. That wasn't fun because the air is very thin, because you're actually a mile up in the air. So
if you're trying to be like super physically fit, great natural training.
Absolutely.
If not, it's annoying.
It's annoying, yeah. The boogers. Your nose is just dry. The air is just dry the entire time. You get used to it. You know, it's simply annoying, but...
So whatever water you drink a day, double it. And then whatever you doubled that to, double it again. And then you might be okay.
Okay, and in a couple of categories, the two cities and state are actually tie. They tie in art and creative scenes. I don't think anyone is a winner here. Film, fashion, and music, they're tie. What were you saying?
That both states do have solid pros and cons.
Yeah.
So ultimately, depending on which one you're wanting to go with, is realistically your preference on the nature amenities that each one does provide.
Yeah.
As well as if you look into it and you're trying to be more on the business aspect of everything, definitely look into the types of taxes that you will have to deal with.
We didn't even talk about that. Ooh. I won't say much, but I'll just simply say that I would say that I like Colorado's tax structure better than I like Oregon's tax structure and codes. I would say in terms of running a business, Colorado is more business friendly for sure. I mean, based on the flat tax rate alone, they get my vote. That alone.
In terms of being a content creator, and as everybody is starting out, you're working full-time for somebody else or part-time, and trying to...
A 9 to 5.
Yeah, 9 to 5, a 6 to 4, whatever. To try to pay the bills and get your content creation off the ground.
Yeah.
You will see more coming out of that income here in Oregon than you would in Colorado.
Because the tax rate is a lot higher here in Oregon than it is in Colorado.
Correct. And that's just income tax rate, and even if you are working for yourself, it's a higher tax rate as well.
Oh, yeah.
So just something to keep in mind in terms of where you can go and make your money stretch the farthest or the longest. I mean, if you're awesome at budgeting, both are solid options and you can make it work. But you're the one that can ultimately decide whether here or there is the best option for you.
If you found this video valuable and if you liked it, please let me know by liking the video, sharing with someone who will find value in it, And comment what you think about Denver, Colorado, or Portland, Oregon. Are you thinking of moving to each? Are you thinking of moving to either city? And why? Why not? All right. With that, I will see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe. And if you're interested in a beautiful modern Squarespace website, let me design one for you. Contact me at morriscreatives.com/contact, or I will leave a link down below. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.